Hello everyone, it's BYG Agami back with another video. Now today we're going to be doing a video about when you should apply logic and when you should not apply logic to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now there's a lot of debates in the community when it comes to the anime side of things, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very popular anime as well as a very popular thing to discuss about. There's big certain duels, big certain events that people just discuss about even till this day that happened a decade ago, which makes the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime great in my opinion, is that you can have these everlasting discussions. Even if you talk about it once a week, it's still everlasting in the sense of you're going to be discussing about it every damn week, and that's what I like. But when I see a lot of these comments on my YouTube videos, I see that people apply logic, and I don't know, it's quite hard to say what you should apply logic to in Yu-Gi-Oh! And what you should not apply logic to in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there's some moments where I can see, yeah, that makes a lot of sense and that's logical, but there are some other moments where it doesn't make sense. Like if you were to put in a real life event, it wouldn't really happen that way, or the outcome / reasoning doesn't make sense. Like for example, in Duelist Kingdom, Yugi's trying to save his grandfather from Pegasus, whom basically put him in a TV, and in the manga he got transported into a radio. Now we never get information on how Grandpa gets transported in the radio so far from what I've read, but I guarantee we probably got an answer. If not, it doesn't really matter. It's such a minute thing to the whole story. But if you really analyze it, I can see why Yugi is participating in Duelist Kingdom, because he wants to save his grandpa. But at the same time, does he really need a duel in Duelist Kingdom in order to get his grandpa back? Shouldn't he call local law enforcement or tell somebody like the Domino Police? Because I guarantee you there's definitely a Domino Police in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or well, at least in Duel Monsters. Like I know for a fact that there is in 5Ds, and I do remember one event where it was Marines or something like that, or possibly some sort of army branch in the Doma arc or the Darts arc. I sort of remember it, where they talked to Kaiba or a Tim about something. So that just means that there has to be some sort of law enforcement in Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially in the Duel Monsters era. Now in GX I have no clue. I can't even think of a moment where there was police in GX, but for 5Ds I know for fact, since we have the sector security, etc. And I do remember one episode where Jack had to get arrested because there was someone basically impersonating as him and using his cards, and I forget who that person was. It was one of the members of Ilias. It was the very small dude, and he basically uses magic to forge Jack's cards. But what I'm trying to say is that there are some moments where you shouldn't apply logic to. For example, how Yugi appeared in the academy during the ending of GX, or why Yugi's dueling for his grandpa when he could call the police. Like, I understand the motive. The motive is very logical. Yeah, you want to save your grandpa. Who the hell wouldn't? But the way he sort of responded to that as he was participating in Duelist Kingdom, it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of half and half in that regard. But when it comes down to the numbers, I think for the most part, that's the best way to apply logic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Real life logic. Because numbers are numbers. But there are some times in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they just totally don't care about numbers. Where they're like, yeah, dude, there is a number bigger than infinity. And that's during the Darts duel between a Tim and Kaiba. Kaiba is out and a Tim's just by himself, and Darts summons the Great Leviathan or the Divine Serpent, and basically his attack is infinite. And then Tim summons the Legendary Knights, and he gets a monster that's stronger than infinity. Now, if you were to apply anime logic, that would make total sense. Yeah, of course. It's anime logic. They can do whatever the hell they want. It's their story. But if you were to apply real life logic, you'd be like, huh? I didn't learn about a number bigger than infinity in school. But yeah, that's what I'm basically trying to say, is that when you discuss, when you debate, when you argue, or when you're just having a fun chat about Yu-Gi-Oh!, really think about when logic should be applied, like when you should put real life examples in Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh yeah, also one thing I do want to bring up is Duelist Kingdom. Now, Duelist Kingdom is a whole mind fuck. In the manga, they do talk about how the field has a huge advantage for your certain type. Like, I think it was Weevil. Yeah, Weevil in the manga had a discussion with Pegasus. He got some early info about how Duelist Kingdom rules are played, and how if you're on a certain part of the map or the area, your monsters get a certain percentage in their attack. But for the other parts in Duelist Kingdom, I think we never got an answer to, like how a Tim just said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna freaking get my giant soldier stone to cut the moon in half or destroy the moon and make Tsunami's water spell field disappear and destroy his monster. Or for example, when a Tim's versing Haga or Weevil, his monster basically burns down the forest, which makes Weevil lose that advantage that he got from being on that area which supported his monster. So it's confusing. It's really confusing. The more I think about it, the more my mind gets sort of like I don't know how to describe it. So what I'm trying to say is that there are certain things you should apply logic to in Yu-Gi-Oh! And there are certain things you shouldn't apply logic to. But to basically sum it all up, we should just call it anime logic. That's it. That's it. One other moment I really want to bring up is in Dark Side Dimensions. There's a lot of stuff which I've had problems sort of solving, and that's how did a Tim return? How did Kaiba summon Obelisk? Which it would make sense in the whole anime logic side of things, because some people are saying that Kaiba summoned an Obelisk through a Tim. A Tim was calling to Kaiba or something along those lines. But I looked at it more the logical side of Kaiba summoned it through his Duel Links Solid Vision system or the Duel Links cloud server. And for a Tim returning, people say that, oh, it was through Agami's cube, or that it was a dimensional duel, as well as the fact that a Tim is a Tim. But I sort of used logic in the sense of the wish that Yugi used in the first chapter of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga. That was my theory. That was sort of logical. And another thing is during the final moment in Dark Side Dimensions when Kaiba goes up to a Tim's palace and challenges him to a duel. Kaiba has a duel disc while a Tim doesn't. Now, of course, in that moment, we just gotta disregard logic whatsoever. We don't apply logic in that moment simply because it's so grand and amazing. Like that moment, it doesn't matter what the hell happens. A giraffe could be in the background. We just gotta look at Kaiba and a Tim looking at each other. So there are some moments where you shouldn't apply logic to. But that's the video for today. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day. Also, check out the Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitter and Facebook fan page regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime news. And if you want to discuss with us and talk about this topic about when you should apply logic to Yu-Gi-Oh!, talk to us in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Facebook fan page, because we got a good amount of members in there. And we do talk a lot about variants as well as DSOD, but it would be interesting to talk more about stuff that applies throughout all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. But see you guys later.